just going to start, and we're going to start in a seated pose. So when you're ready, you can go to your yoga mat if you're not there yet. And just come into a comfortable seat of your choice. So you can sit any way you like, but see if you can really sit on your sitting bones. So I always like sitting cross-legged, but you can sit on your knees as well. Just try to make sure you're not tucking your tail under. So from the side, that would look like this. So you're rounding your spine, your pelvis is tilted back, your tail is tucked. We want to try to find length. So you're more rolling onto your sitting bones. And from there, you can lengthen your spine up. Arms can be where it feels good. Shoulders are relaxed. And you want to keep thinking about lifting and lengthening up. So get comfortable. Push your sitting bones down. And then when you're ready, if you like, you can close your eyes. You can also choose to keep your eyes open if you feel more comfortable that way. And then we'll just take a couple moments here to arrive in our body. You might want to take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And just allowing your awareness to move inwards. See if you can start to feel your body sitting here from the inside out. And with every next exhale, you start to sink a little bit more into your body, ground a little bit more into your body, and letting your awareness move a little bit more towards the lower part of the body, so the feet and the legs, your sitting bones. Letting yourself sink into this moment and into the body. See if you can feel your feet and your legs touching the mat. Your sitting bones, your buttocks touching the mat, or maybe you're sitting on top of a prop, touching your pillow or block or blanket. And from there, letting your awareness move further up. See if you can lengthen your spine just a little bit more if you've noticed that you started to round. Notice how your back is doing today, your lower back, your middle back, your upper back, how your shoulders doing. See if you can really feel that from the inside out. You can let your awareness move into the arms if that feels good, into your hands and your fingers. Taking a moment to also check in with the belly, your chest, the front of your body. And then going to your head, your face, making sure your jaw is relaxed. You're not clenching your teeth, your jaw. It's relaxed and soft, and your lips are relaxed, your cheeks, your forehead, soft face. And from here, just letting your awareness move back onto your breath. Letting the breath move further down into the belly, starting to breathe into the belly. You can always place a hand on your lower belly, so in between your pubic bone and your belly button, to bring your awareness into your lower belly, but to also bring that breath into the lower belly. Just allowing some movement from your breath in your belly. Allowing to not only feel your belly rise and fall on your inhale and exhale, see if you can also breathe into your hips and into your lower back, into your tailbone, sacrum bone. Noticing if you can let your breath move all the way into your pelvic floor, into your pelvic diaphragm, the muscles. Just keeping that breath in your belly and in your pelvic bowl for now. Knowing that every breath in creates space, brings your awareness down, and every breath out softens. It's an invitation to relax just a little bit more. Let's take one more breath here. And when you're ready, you can blink your eyes back open if they were closed. And we'll move into some stretching for the feet. So for this one, we're going to come onto our hands and our knees. You can, if your knees are sensitive, place a blanket underneath your knees. And then from here, we're going to tuck all 10 toes in the mat. Just stay here for now, tucking the toes under, noticing how this stretch already feels for you. And know that you're more than welcome to stay here. But if you want, you can start to lean back and maybe rise up and sit on your heels. If this feels too much, a couple of things you could do. If you have a bolster nearby or a pillow, you can place that underneath your knees. That makes it less intense for your feet. Another option would be to place the bolster in between your heels and your sitting bones. Also makes it less deep, the stretch, or kind of makes it less intense. So see whatever feels good for you, if you use props or not. While you're sitting here, make sure your heels are not splaying all the way out. So you don't want your heels to come out. See if you can keep your heels at width of your sitting bones. And check if you can have your pinky toe tucked in the mat as well. If that's really up and it's not happening, you don't need to force it. But sometimes it gets a little stuck, and if you help it a little bit, it comes down. And then breathe. I know this can be an intense stretch. See if you can just breathe and imagine you're bringing your breath all the way down to your feet. Notice the sensations and know that this too shall pass. We won't be here forever. So you can handle it. You can work through it, but know that if it's already too much, you can always come out. You know your body best, and you know the sensations you feel the best, whether that's too much or still okay for you to push yourself just a little further. We have one more breath here. Maybe exhale through your mouth, soften, and then take your hands back in front of you. Untuck your toes and then gently tap the tops of your feet down. Bring a little bit of awareness back into your feet. You can also just lift your feet and roll the ankles, wiggle your toes. And then we're going to place the tops of the feet down. And then slowly we're going to lean back and sit on our heels here, but with the feet flat. So if this is too much for you, which can be, this is an ankle stretch, what you could do is grab your pillow or bolster, place it in between your legs, and then see if you can sit down. Would be an option. Another option would be, just like we did with the toes tucked, is if you would place it in between your sitting bones and your heels. So it depends on what feels best for you. I always feel like this is a little bit of a more intense stretch if you have the pillow in between. See what feels good in your body, and of course you can do it without. See if you can lengthen. Don't tuck your tail under, but kind of release it Lengthen and relax your shoulders back and down. And again, see if you can breathe down towards your ankles and your feet. And just feel this stretch. Also here, you don't want your heels to fall out. See if you can keep your heels sitting bone width, kind of keeping them a little bit active, I would say. Let's take another breath in here. Long exhale out. And then slowly you come back to your hands and your knees. If you were using props, take them away. Lift your feet and just roll the ankles out. Make sure you're rolling both ways. And then coming back down. Let's do a couple cat-cows here before we continue. If your wrists are very sensitive, you can always walk your hands a step forward. And then whenever you're ready, you can start on an inhale, tucking your tail up, lengthening the belly, reaching the heart forward. On the exhale, taking the tail down, rounding through the spine and hugging your chin in. Now continue on your inhale, starting at the tailbone, reaching it up, lengthening through the belly, heart forward, maybe look forward. And exhale first at your tail, tuck it under, start to round your spine and hug your chin in. Now keep going. See if you can make the movement a little bit bigger. See if you can move a little bit more forward, a little bit more backwards. And then either staying here with that cat-cow or start to free flow a little bit and feel where your spine and your body would like to move and reach for. You could make some circles. You could snake your spine from left to right. See if you can just play around here with the movement, with your body, with your breath. Noticing where your body would like to go. Maybe you want to go a little bit more forward, maybe even down. Maybe you go all the way back into a child's pose. You could lift arms, legs. See where it is you or your body would like to go. And nothing's wrong. It's all good. You can always stay with your cat-cow. You can also just come into child's pose. Maybe you feel like, I need child's pose. I'm going to stay here longer. Or maybe laying down on your belly. Do what feels good. Move your body, your spine a little bit. Letting everything flow a bit into the body. Gently waking up the spine, your joints. Deepening the breath. Let's do about 3 to 5 more breaths here. Moving any way you like. As you can see, I'm off all fours. I'm just sitting on my knees and moving there a little bit. It's all good. All right, let's do about 1 more breath. Maybe take a deep breath in. Deep exhale out. And then we come back and we're going to come and lay down on our backs. So make sure your ball is nearby, your tennis ball or massage ball. And if you want, you can always place something behind your head for a little bit of support. So slowly coming down on your back. So our focus point for the coming points is the muscle. Let me come up for you. It's the muscle. So in the middle, you have the spine, the muscles along the spine. These are muscles that are very often very tight with people who are dealing with a tight pelvic floor or who are dealing with pelvic pain or lower back pain. And you could do this actually with 2 balls at the same time, but we're just going to do one side at a time. We're going to slowly, when you're ready, you can lift your hips high and take the ball behind you, just on the right side of your spine. So not on the spine, but just next to it, about midway of your back. So about middle back. And then you're going to slowly let your body sink on top of the ball. It's always important that the ball is not behind bone and it's not too painful. So if it's really painful, I would suggest to see if you can place it just on a little bit of a different point, maybe a little bit further down or up or left or right. Just make sure it's not on your spine itself. And I know I'm someone, so I'm sure someone else might feel the same, that I always like to go for that deep, intense feeling, but I want to invite you today to be more soft with your body, because we could actually use more softness. So you have the ball behind you, mid back on the right side of your spine, and you're just letting your body sink on top of the ball. The ball is trying to release the muscle. You're just breathing in and out through your nose. See if you can breathe towards your belly, towards the hips, towards the back. You might feel that breath on top of the ball. We're just going to take a couple more breaths here. Should not be intense pain. If you start to notice that it's getting hard to breathe, that's a sign you're doing a little bit too much. You might want to back off a bit. And you're just feeling the sensations that you might feel. The ball behind you. And then if you're like, well, I'm really at a good spot, I want to stay here, you're more than welcome to stay here. But if you want to explore a little bit further down on that same muscle, you can see if you can gently engage your lower belly, lift your hips, and then softly roll the ball a little bit further down. Still on the side of the spine, not underneath the spine, a little bit down, but again, don't go underneath your sacrum bone. So we're staying on the soft tissue. And you're just breathing here. Maybe you're like, whoa, this is the wrong spot. It's painful. You move it maybe a little bit further down, or you go up again. You explore the right spot for you. And you can stay really still here. If you want, you can also gently move up and down. So you push yourself from your feet. That can feel nice. It might not. And then you just stay at one spot. So this is really about your body and what feels okay for your body. So for me, I'm noticing the movement is not really working today. But maybe for you, you're like, oh, that's really what I need. So I want you to take that freedom to adjust to your body. And you can stay and breathe here. You might already feel some releasing, some softening of that muscle. You might want to explore it on a different spot on the muscle. Maybe you go further down or you go back up. We'll be here for another few minutes, so we have the time. Take it easy. There's no need to rush. See if you can really focus on the deep breathing into the belly. So it's really important, no strong, intense pain. not only explore your body on a physical level, also notice if any particular thoughts are popping up for you or any particular feelings, emotions. See if you can stay present in your whole body, not only feeling that muscle that we're working on, but also noticing other parts of the body, staying aware of the whole body, since we are more than just that one muscle. So what is happening in your shoulders? How do your feet feel? Your face? I think we'll stay about 1 more minute. If you want to explore a different spot, maybe go back to one really good one. And just keep breathing. And now oftentimes when we start to really focus, so maybe you're really focusing on what am I feeling, what am I doing? You hold the breath. But the muscles really want you to breathe here. All right. And slowly you can take the ball away and just take a moment without any ball behind you, just lying here. Notice the difference between left and right. See if you can feel that difference in your back and maybe in the rest of your body. You can always stretch your legs out if you feel that's more relaxed, or keep your knees bent if that's better for your lower back. So just to give you an example of what you might feel, but you can have a completely different experience. So for me, I feel more space on the right side. I feel more space in my back, but also in my hip and my right leg. So I always find it funny how everything is always so connected. You can feel it in the particular muscle that we're working on, but you can also feel it in the rest of your body. So let's even it out and move over to the left side. So you can come back with your knees bent if the legs were straight. You engage your lower belly, you lift yourself high, and then you place your ball on the left side next to your spine, not on the spine, about halfway, so middle back. You don't want to go too high. We're going to slowly move down, so don't worry. And just take a moment to let your body adjust to the ball, breathing into it. See if you can gently soften the muscle the ball's pushing on. And just letting your body, or gifting your body, the time. So it's not about pushing your body, going for that deep, intense sensation. I really want to invite you to allow more softness in your body and in your life. Here you have a beautiful opportunity and container to practice that. And once you start to practice it on your yoga mat, it starts to become easier to also bring that softness into your life off of the mat, into your, I would almost say real life, but I guess being here in a yoga mat is also real life. So if you want, you can start to move the ball a little bit further down. If you want to explore different spots, if you're like, I am on the really good spot, on the perfect spot for me today, you can also stay there. And just let your body soften on top of the ball. breathe and feel. Allowing whatever wants to come up. So if tears come up, tears come up. If a certain emotion or feeling comes up, see if you can just allow it to be here. So it might be that you suddenly feel really angry. See if you can just allow that to be here and feel it. And I know sometimes it can be really hard with emotions and feelings that we're not really fond of. But allow yourself. See what happens if you just give it a little bit of space. You can keep exploring. You can also explore a little bit of movement. So you might lift the hips a little bit, and then you can use your feet to move up and down. I also use my arms usually. And it's funny, on one side it feels really good to do this, and the other side I didn't feel it. So you can always explore and see and notice how things are different on your left and your right side. And what can feel okay in one moment can also change in the next 5 seconds. And that's also okay. So you can shift and change and explore different parts. And also notice what it does to the rest of your body. What is happening in the belly when you do this? What is happening in your legs, in your shoulders, in your face? So you can stay open and curious. I think we're going to stay about 1 more minute. So if you're like, I want to go back to that really nice spot, you can. If you have one more spot you want to explore, go ahead. Try to remember softness. And sometimes the muscle can be so tight and tense that all the spots are too sensitive, and know that you can always skip something in our class together, and also when you're practicing yourself. All right, when you're ready, you can take the ball away. You can lie down, stretch your legs out if you want, or keep the knees bent. And just take a moment to feel and explore the body right now after we've done both sides. Noticing how your breath is moving in your body, if there's a difference there. So probably you'll feel more even. I'm feeling more even in the spaciousness that I'm feeling. All right, let's go to our next point, buttocks. So you're going to bend your knees again. And when you're ready, you're going to lift your hips and you're going to take the ball behind your right buttock. And here we have different muscles on our buttocks. We have the medius, the maximus, the minimus. And we have a really nice muscle in there that's called the piriformis, which is a lot of times a really tight one when you're dealing with pelvic floor issues. So you can explore here again a little bit. Try to find a nice spot where you kind of feel your buttocks, your gluteus muscle soften around the ball. And just be here. Again, don't put the ball behind bone. So be mindful where you're actually putting it. If you're not leaning onto the bone too much. And then you can just stay here breathing, or you can explore what happens if you add in a little bit of movement by opening your right knee out to the side like half butterfly. And you might choose to stay there. You might just gently move up and down. Try not to move too fast. See if you can keep that movement. If you're going for the movement, really slow and gentle. Just noticing what's happening. If you're like, it's getting too intense, maybe don't move, maybe try a different spot. So you can go a little bit higher on your buttock. You can go a little bit lower. You can go a little bit more inwards, a little bit more outwards. So there are different spots on our buttocks. So you can go a little bit more to the outside. You can stay more in the center. You can go further down. A lot of times, this part, which is a little bit higher, is a really nice one. Oh, sorry. It can feel really good. You can also move the ball a little bit around. I really invite you to explore, since all our bodies are so different. You might need something else than someone else. And also here, don't lean into the intense spots. If it's too intense, try something else. So about 1 more minute here. If you've already had enough, you can always come out earlier. You can always go to a different spot. And our gluteus muscles, our butt muscles, they're very much influencers in how your pelvis is aligned. So sometimes the gluteus medius can be tight, and that can help to rotate your pelvis on one side if it's on one side tight. And if there's a muscle which we're going to do next, but first on the other side, if you have tightness at the front as well, it's only going to make that worse. So it's really good to work these muscles. All right, minutes is over. You can take your ball away. Just take a moment in between the sides. Take a moment to feel, to notice the difference between your gluteus muscles, between the left side, the right side, but also checking with the legs and your spine. Notice what is happening in your body when you are gently massaging your muscles, breathing into the muscles. All right, bend your knees again if the legs were straight. Lift your hips and take the ball underneath your left gluteus muscles and piriformis muscle if you want to target that one. You can explore a little bit where you want to place it. If it's too intense, go to a different spot. I know, well, in our whole body, but especially our glutes, sometimes the muscles can really be tight and these trigger points can really be a lot. And today, I really want to invite you to more softness, to go lean into the softness and not so much into that intense feeling. I think in our general life, most of us, of course not all, but most of us will already lean more to the intense part of life. So here you are allowed to go softer. So you can move the ball around, try different parts. You can go a little bit more on the outside and a little bit more up. There you have the medius. And there you can also start to target the piriformis as well. It might also be nice to go a little bit lower or a little bit more inwards. But make sure you're not on bone. So don't go too high or too much inwards that you're on your tailbone. That's not what we're looking for here. And then you can do the movement if you want. You can open your left knee out to the side and go back up. You can keep it open. You can just keep moving. If you are moving, keep it soft and gentle. And it might be that it's too much on this side or that you need to try a different spot. Or maybe you don't open so far, just trying to find the edge. And you just stay there. So the leg is just partly opened. And try to really breathe into your gluteus muscles. So we're working on the muscles, they want oxygen. So let's breathe into the belly, bringing that blood flow into your pelvis and into the glutes. So it can be that one of your glutes, the left or the right, is really intense and then the other one was really easy. So for me, the right one was okay, but the left side is really intense. So you might be exploring a lot, trying out different parts of the muscles, and that's okay. And sometimes it's enough after already 3 minutes in and you're like, okay, I'm done. So try to really listen to your body. You don't need to be really sore after this. So if you go really into the intense trigger points, you push, you're going to be sore tomorrow. We have about 1 more minute. If you want to stay and breathe and be. Notice the rest of your body, not just your gluteus muscles. And we have just a few more breaths here. And if you're ready, you can slowly take the ball away. Take a moment to feel left side, right side. So I feel way more grounded than when we first started. So notice what is happening, not just in the muscles we're working on, but in your whole overall feeling. Maybe you feel more present in your body, more spacious. Maybe you can feel stuff flowing and moving and shifting. And maybe you don't feel a lot. That's fine too, of course. All right, time goes by so fast. So let's roll over to our side and then gently push up. And then we're going to move onto our belly. For the next one, we're also going to use a block. Or if you don't have a block, a book could work as well. I'm actually going to grab 2 books because my block, I have really big blocks and I like not so much height, but a normal block is fine. I just have those really, really big size ones. We're going to move on to our belly. You're going to come onto the forearms for now. And then when you're ready, you can lift your right leg next to you. And then we're going to take that knee, if you can, aligned with the hip. And then the heel again aligned with the knee. If the inside of your knee is really sensitive, you can place a blanket underneath there for a little bit of support. And we're just first gonna be here for now, softening through that right hip and right side of your lower back. You can stay on your forearms. That can have a really nice little stretch for your chest as well. But if you want to take it softer, you can also come down, make a little pillow of your hands and place your favorite cheek or your forehead on top of that. And just soften here for a moment. Allow the breath to move into the belly, into your pelvis. In a moment, we're going to work on the front of the hip, a little bit into the groin maybe. This is a part that can also be very tight. The upper part of our quads. All right, let's take one more breath here. And then slowly, if you are down, you can come back up onto your arms. And then see if you can lift your hip a little bit higher. So you can take the block, or if you're using books like me, underneath there. And then the ball goes on top. And then you're going to lean that front hip, the groin, on top of the ball. Now I'm going to come a little bit closer to show you where the ball actually goes. So it goes a little bit here. So you don't want to be too much on the bone, but it's a little bit more on the inside. And you're gonna again soften your hip down here. On top of that ball. If it's too intense, see if you can move around a little bit and find a good spot for you. And then breathe here. You can stay on the forearms. Of course, you can come down as well. Soften your gluteus muscles, your butt muscles. See if you can soften your lower back. And just feel and be aware of whatever is coming up for you here. And whatever comes up, see if you can just allow that to be here. We'll do about 1 more minute here. If you've already had enough, if you're like already on that edge, you can always come out and just stretch both legs long and just lay on your belly for now. If you're still okay, if you find that really sweet spot where you can soften around and on top of the ball, releasing the inner thigh and a little bit of the quads at the front. Let's do one more deep breath in here and let it out. And then slowly you can come back onto your forearms. You can take the ball away, block or hooks, and then stretch both legs long and just take a moment to lay here on your belly. Make yourself comfortable. You can always gently rock your hips from left to right. Soften through your shoulders. And then we get ready for the other side, stretching your left knee out to the side, about the same height as or line with the hip. You can stay on your forearms, you can go all the way down. If you are on your forearms, you want some support, you can always tuck something underneath your ribs, whether that's a block, a blanket, a pillow. You could just take a breather here, feeling your body softening through that left hip, left side of your lower back. And then if you want, you can go and add the block and the ball. You just scoop that underneath the hip, place the ball on top, and then you can soften on top of the ball. Try to find the right spot for you. It's a little bit towards the groin, not so much on the bone, and it should not be too intense. Not give you intense pain. So it's okay if it's uncomfortable, but not intense pain. See if you can breathe into softness. And of course, I'm on my forearms, but you can also come down. Just let the muscles soften around the ball. We'll be here for about another minute. If it's too much already, you come out. Keep breathing down into the belly and into your lower back and pelvis. Breathing deeply but softly. And then when you're ready, you can remove the ball, the blocks or block. And then you can stretch your legs long and just relax on your belly for a moment. Make it comfortable if you need some movement. If you need to sway your hips from left to right. know that you can always do that. And feel the body, notice what shifted, how you feel different now. And then when you're ready, you can start to push yourself up. And then I want to do one more pose, which is a supported butterfly. You can place a pillow or bolster in line with the length of your mat. And then maybe a folded blanket at the top as a little pillow. Now you're going to sit in front. A little bit of space in between your lower back and the pillow. And then you're going to lean back. So we have a little bit of opening for our chest, stretching the arms out to the side. And then you can place the soles of the feet together and let your knees fall out. If you need support for your legs, like a block or a pillow, know that you can always grab that and give yourself that support. And then just allow yourself to sink on top of the bolster here, to soften through your chest and your shoulders. And feel the opening of the inner thighs, of your pelvis here. And notice how this pose feels for you today. We'll be here a couple of minutes just to allow the body to soften. So see if you can soften your shoulder blades on either side of the bolster or the pillow, or you could also lie on top of blocks if you don't have a bolster or pillow nearby. And just soften the shoulder blades to left and right. Feeling the opening, the chest, at the heart. Allowing the breath to move through the heart. Allowing the breath to move all the way down into the belly, into the gut. Notice how your breath is connecting the heart and the belly, the gut. Will be about another minute here. As always, you can come out earlier. You can come out at the time that it feels good to you, that your body needs to. So really trying to sink the awareness into the body and listen to the body. Taking one more deep breath here. Long exhale out. Then slowly first taking the knees back up, feet back into the mat. Walk your feet as wide as the mat and then let the knees snug into each other. Feel the hips, the inner thighs. And then walk the feet back underneath the knees and roll either to the left or to the right, rolling off of the bolster and gently, slowly pushing yourself up. And then you can push the bolster or whatever you are lying on top away and lay all the way down on your back for Shavasana. I'm going to do a short Shavasana, a couple minutes just flat on the mat. But of course, if you feel your lower back, you can place a bolster underneath your knees or a pillow, or just place your feet flat on the mat like constructive rest pose. Or if you prefer to lay on your belly, you can go to the belly. So I want to give you the freedom to find relaxation wherever you're finding it. And just gifting yourself some time to arrive, stretching your arms out, maybe scooping the shoulders a little bit more underneath you, closing the eyes if you feel comfortable. Maybe taking another deep breath in through your nose, and then exhaling it out through your mouth, letting go. Softening, relaxing, releasing. Consciously choosing here to relax your body. And I will end here with a little reading written by Billy Chapata, also known as I Am Brilliant. Your productivity isn't an indication of your worth. If all you can do today is take one step, then take one step. If all you can do today is say one word, then keep your tongue holstered once you've spoken. If all you can do today is rest, then rest freely without guilt. And then slowly you can start to deepen your breath again. Start to move your body. Maybe first your fingers, your toes, and then slowly more and more. But move in any way that feels good to you. Taking your time, taking up your space that you need to wake up and come back. Whenever you're ready, roll over to your favorite side and just take a moment to lay there in a fetal position with your eyes maybe still closed, just feeling your body, noticing what today's practice has given you, what has shifted and changed. Where do you feel more space, more softness? How do you feel right now? And then when you're ready, you can use your hands to push yourself all the way back up and take a moment in a seated pose of your choice, Maybe taking your palms on top of your heart or your hands together in front of the heart, whatever resonates more with you. Maybe taking the eyes closed and just taking a moment to thank yourself that you took this time today, that you created this space just for you, and be grateful of your amazing and beautiful body. And I thank you. Thank you.